Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Guess who we have back in studio today?
It's me.
My friend Wendi Nunnery, published author, hardworking mom, wife, all the things. And I wanted to introduce her to another Ren song. It's perfect for you.
She's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize.
You may have seen us when we reacted to Hi Ren.
What'd
you think about that one in retrospect?
Iconic.
Good word.
That's such a good conversation too. You know, I think that's what his music makes way for. It makes a lot of space for conversation.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I'm excited to see another one.
Well, I wanted to introduce her today to the trilogy. You guys know what's coming if you're Ren fans. If not, make sure to go check out Ren on YouTube and subscribe to him. I picked that one particularly, for one, because it is another masterpiece, as many of you also know, but also because Wendi is a published author and all about literary art and literature. I felt like she might appreciate the storytelling, the songwriting, storytelling part about it. What do you guys think? Drop a like and a comment if you agree, if you're curious to see what Wendi thinks. What are you thinking? What are you feeling as we're getting ready for this?
I'm feeling prepared to feel emotions.
Okay.
I just kind of come into this going, okay, whatever it's going to be, whether it's happy or sad or angry, I know that he's going to evoke a lot of emotion, and so I'm excited. And I'm excited to see his storytelling.
As an author, is there any type of angle or perspective or elements that are important to you to make it good?
I mean, there's so many different types of stories. And I think for me, it's all about, do I feel the author's voice? Can I hear the author's voice? Whether it's, a songwriter or a writer, does it feel authentic to them? And you can usually feel that. You can feel that in songs. You can feel that when you're reading a story. Is this someone just trying to jump on the bandwagon? But I mean, I think that's probably the last thing you could say about Ren, is that he's trying to jump on any bandwagon. So I just want to feel something.
Okay. I like that.
So whatever it is, I'm ready for it.
All right, you guys, here we go.
When I see the name Screech, all my millennials, you know what I think. I think of Saved by the Bell.
All right.
So
let's see if there's any parallels there. Are you guys ready, friends? He's such an artist.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street, somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet, she was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before she wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain, he'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech, he was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief, at 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware, maybe intuition bogging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance to the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Up or go Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It's a quiet dark night in an empty street, somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
I love how even the acoustic guitar is part of the storytelling.
Our story, it starts right at the end. At the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? No, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch, for fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest. Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying one street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
So much soul. It's all so heavy, but still so much art, soul.
Yeah,
Run.
even just the angle
Right?
here.
Yes.
You know, the use of the camera.
Yes. Ooh, those lights going out. See how the tone changes?
Yeah.
The melodies he's playing.
Even the filters on the camera, change
Yes.
the light,
Yes.
the mood.
Mm-hmm.
stuff of his. Just watching him play.
Right?
The guitar.
Right?
Yeah. It's a character.
Yes.
Just like everything else.
Yes. So much part of it, even himself, Ren.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond being the storyteller.
Yeah, he is the story.
Yes. The dirty socks and his facial expression. Like, so real.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she saw lady weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Rewinding time.
Right? Isn't that a crazy good?
Yeah.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent stars. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she felt fast. See, Stevie was the wrong but Isha knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, knick-knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet. London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins, aligned side by side. a girl named Jenny, and a boy named Screech.
Well, fuck.
I'm having a moment where I'm like, so why am I doing this to myself again? Okay.
See, I suspected
Yeah.
that once we got to her story,
Uh-huh.
that she was going to be the mother of someone.
Okay.
I suspected that.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know if it's just the artist in me, the writer in me. I
It
could
could
see
be.
the clues, you know,
You
I
could
could
see
see the
the clues, the plot.
foreshadowing,
Okay.
you know. And since she hadn't been mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking about the way that she was being abused, the way that she had been abused, I was thinking this is going to be a generational curse that shows up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking she was Screech's mom, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, God. Heavy. I feel like when I listen to him, it's just fascinating because he is very much a writer.
Yeah.
You know, he's an instrumentalist. He's obviously a very talented musician.
Yeah.
Not always are musicians great storytellers.
Yes.
Sometimes they, you know, they're singing other people's songs, and that's fine and good, but he is fully engaged in that entire process.
Yeah.
Like we were both saying, the guitar is a character.
Yes. I love how you said that. The guitar is a character.
He is the character. His movements, the movement of the camera, all of that is a part of telling the story, and he does it so simply. I mean, and that's the power of his work, is that he doesn't need a bunch of fancy shiny things
Yes.
to tell you a story that moves you.
Yes.
And I really admire that about him.
Yeah.
And even though his music to me feels less like music
Yes.
than it does almost like listening to an audiobook.
Yes. It's an experience beyond
Yeah.
just a song you can have playing in the background.
Right.
It's almost like this piece of art. I've
Yeah.
said this about a couple of other tracks, this kind of art that some may want to have on their playlist, but for others, it's really an experience, this piece of art you would have front and center in your living room or in your foyer.
Yeah.
That is beyond just a background
Sure.
image.
Well, he forces you to stop and pay attention
Yes.
to what he's doing.
Yes.
And there's definitely a time and place for music that's just background noise.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a writer. I have music on all the time,
Yeah.
just as, you know, vibes.
Mm-hmm. And he has those songs that I feel like are still deep, but playful enough or more upbeat to just
Yeah. But I
jam to.
appreciate the fact that he forces his audience
Yeah.
and his listener to pay attention to what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And to slow down. We're missing so much of that in our
Yes.
culture, where our attention spans are 30 seconds, 15 seconds
Yeah,
long.
I
We
call
wanna
it the
move on.
swulture, the swipe culture.
Right. We
Yeah.
want to move to the next thing, and he forces you to slow down and
Yes.
to pay attention. And I really appreciate that. And, you know, he makes me, I just kept thinking of Eminem when I was
Yeah.
listening to him, the way that he weaves the stories and his rhymes and the play on words everywhere. It's just brilliant. And I love
Right.
that. It takes so much talent. So he's probably one of the best artists I think I've ever seen in terms of storytelling, for
Yeah.
sure.
I love that. I'm amazed that, for one, listening to this again with you, at first my thought was, I'm just going to listen to this with you and it's going to be more about me watching your expression.
Yeah.
I was not actually ready to, or I didn't prepare myself to just let it impress on me again and
Yeah.
cause an emotional response. And what I'm impressed by is that there's so many details and things that I'm noticing now that I don't remember necessarily realizing the first time around.
Okay.
There's so many details, even things that I may have mentioned this when I first reacted to it, but even things like in the end, him wearing that hospital gown
Yeah.
is to me a little thread also to Hiren and Sick Boy.
That's immediately what I thought
Right?
of. Yeah.
So there's these links to his other videos, there's links to the full album, to his various works. Like you said, the cinematography, the camera lighting, the angle, it makes it much more personal. It almost feels like you're the person being beaten on or lying
Yeah.
dead on the street, lights going out, things fading and dimming. And it's this multi-layered experience of trying to allow myself to experience the emotion. Like I said, let it impress me, let it, what is the word? I'm only thinking of the German word right now, but ich lasse es auf mich einwirken. I'm letting it, I guess impress would be the right word.
Yeah.
Like I'm letting it work
Yeah.
on me, work
Yeah.
in me. And there's so much emotion and grief about that topic. Domestic violence, molestation, and sexual assault. Violence amongst youth, police brutality,
generational
trauma. Just there's so much, just even from a philosophical standpoint, but also from a moral standpoint, that is heavy to digest and a hard topic that you could talk on for days alone. That's not even counting all the wordsmithery, I like to call it, that he is doing.
I love that. It is wordsmithery.
Talking about like jars of pickle like bricks, or all of some of the alliterations are some of my favorites, and he uses so many of those, but he uses them beautifully with his cadence flow. That's what's so mind-boggling to me. I mean, I know that I can speak fast, and I love fast-paced rap through like people like Busta Rhymes and those guys. I'm always impressed when they could do it quick.
Logic,
there's still
so
logic.
Fast.
They're still enunciating correctly. I'm like, this is awesome. But he does it both. He moves from the slow to the fast. Like you said, the guitar is the character, but he is constantly with every phrase bringing in so much literary art. I mean, it would take us hours to go through every stanza, every phrase. Oh, here's a double entendre.
I think about my poetry class I took in college, and I just think about sitting down. I'm like, wait, I want to dissect that line. I want to talk about that line. It's just really, really incredible. And it would take a lot to sit and dissect all of it, because there's, like you said, there's double entendres, there's just the rhythm and the flow, but there's also the the musicality of the words themselves.
Yes. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
He's really good at incorporating not just words that will get to us, but that encapsulate the meaning of the story too. You know,
they're very poignant to what's happening,
and bring you into the story with him. And
doing all of that, singing, rapping, playing guitar. I mean, it's one thing to read a poem, and add a little bit of, fluctuation, a little bit of melodic.
Sure.
Try singing or rapping that while playing the guitar, while walking around.
I know. There was a little bit of me, though, that's thinking, what are all these people in these buildings thinking when they hear this dude screaming in the alleyway? They're probably like, you know what? It's fine.
It's Ren. We're used to it.
He's making another music video.
That's true. That's a good question. It was also real because of some of the graffiti. In the beginning, there was very interesting graffiti.
Okay, I noticed the girl swinging as he started telling about Jenny. He was talking about Jenny, and then he walks past that graffiti of the little girl, like, swinging. And I thought, I wonder if that was intentional.
The one that I noticed was the sexual one, where it said, like, lick, and it showed,
with
like,
a couple of breasts.
And that was interesting because it was talking about her walking the streets in high heels. And I know some people may or may not have disagreed with me in the comments when I first reacted, but I was also not sure what had come of Jenny and her story. Was this perhaps also implying that she had ended up being a girl of the streets? Why is she out late on heels? Is she just going out with friends, or is she working the streets?
Well, now if we know that they're twins. And he was, 14?
Yeah, she was 14 too. But it's not unlikely that she was in, the scene where she was.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And that's what's so heartbreaking. And my question, I am a little bit confused about this. Like, are we to assume that they didn't know each other?
Yes, I think so. I think
that their lives had gone separate ways because their mother had passed.
Yeah, maybe they got into the system. They probably were split. Because the way that he spoke to her, I mean, not that if there's such abuse and toxicity and disconnect that brothers and sisters can't have complete hate, but it did sound like strangers.
Yeah.
There was no, to me at least, hint that there was some familiarity, and now he's just gonna choose hate over.
Oh yeah, she was just an object getting in his way.
Yes,
at that point, and he wasn't even. He talks about, like, he's not even thinking clearly. The devil is like, okay, we're gonna dance.
Yeah, even there, devil dancing, like so many, the tiniest of things, the way that he would enunciate certain words rhythmically. Like I said, those bars, the cadence flow, it's just even details like, and I don't remember if I picked up on this, or again, comment section was educational. So whatever we're missing, comment below, like blow up the comment section. What do you think about this song? What stood out to you the most? But I remember either hearing or noticing, even when he tries to call his friend Patrick, Patrick is not there for him. And then he tries to call his girlfriend, and she's busy. Yeah. I believe someone mentioned that maybe that was because his girlfriend and Patrick were, hanging out. So there was just these...
hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out. So I don't remember where I got that idea from, maybe the comment section. But it's just ultimately this picture of how everyone's lives are intertwined.
Yes.
And it can either be for good, and it can be life-giving, or it can be completely toxic from abuse and, like you said, the generational pattern to the friends you're encountering and the people you're engaging with, I mean.
Well, and it's also this, for me, it's humanizing these caricatures that we make of people.
Yes.
Police officers, prostitutes.
Yes.
Or young women who've been abused.
Yes.
Or, boys who are on the streets.
Yes.
And who are, selling drugs or doing drugs or whatever. Like, we make those things their identity.
Yes. You're right.
I think it's so harmful because even as we're trying, I think we have such a difficult time talking about people's actions without making it their whole identity. I mean, even just the word prostitute, right? Like, that's not who she is.
No.
She is a girl. She is a young woman. She is a person with value and worth and dignity. But the world wants to just box people in and say, well, you have this uniform on, or you're wearing this outfit, or you made these choices, and so that's all of you are.
Yeah.
And
You're
so I think what
right.
the song does a really beautiful job of is showing us, these are people who have had choices inflicted upon them, and who have made choices as a result of the pain that they've endured from other people.
Yeah.
And sometimes also things just happen so quickly too. Like we see when he's shot by the police officer who is fearing for his life, and or not even thinking, and just pulls out his gun and sees this kid in an alleyway coming at him, and there's just so much that happens so quickly. And I think that this song is an opportunity for us to take a step back and reconsider our preconceived notions about who people are and why they are the way they are.
And I love that the whole story, even though it was painting a picture of how it's all connected, still every one of them had their own little soundtrack.
Yeah.
Because every chapter, if you will, of the trilogy started with its own unique interlude and its own unique chord progression and melody. Yeah. Some of it sounding darker, some of it sounding fast-paced, depending on the excitement and the drama or the
because
grief.
Each person deserves their own story.
Everyone is still, we're connected, but everyone has their own story. And I like that. And I think that is something, I think art like this, like you said, it brings in the compassion, hopefully, and it almost forces us to deal with what is happening in this world.
Yes.
So we don't turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
So we don't just look at the people through the lens of their action or their outfits or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to break that. I think because we're relational beings, we need to have a voice or voices in our life that also remind us of that. Yeah. Because not only are we quick to put labels on others, we're often also doing it to ourselves, right? Where we go, oh, do I look good enough? Or, oh, goodness, I don't want to come across this or that way. And I, even from own experience, it's taken me years and still struggle at times to break free from shame because of the choices I had made, the things that I had done that were so different than what I had planned. Yeah. And I came with a gullibility and being naive in young years to life happening, and then shame coming with that from my decisions, and now operating from a place of shame. And even though I grew up with or also was surrounded by the message of there's hope and there's forgiveness, it was really hard to shake not making that my identity. Yeah. It was deeply rooted in how I operated, how I looked at myself. Shame is a complete killer of joy. And so I think that this type of art also reminds me that we need to look at other people through compassion and look at the whole story, but also ourselves. And have those type of people that go, hey, this is not who you are. Yeah. Choose life, right? That's what I often say, like, choose to dance in the light. Get up. You get to choose who you're going to surround yourself with.
I just thought of this parallel, when you talk about in the song where the devil says, we're going to dance now. Yes. And then that dance of death and destruction versus your
I like that. Which gives you goosebumps.
Channel, like dancing in the light and choosing life and believing that is possible no matter what you've chosen in the past.
Yeah. And that, like he does even in Hiren, just as much as that pendulum is part of life, you're going to still get to choose how you're going to engage with the situation, what side you're going to lean on, or you're going to swing back if you're headed in the wrong direction.
What dance are you going to dance?
Yes. What dance are you going to dance? What dance are you going to dance? I love that we end on hope, because this was so heavy. Like even that scene with the whole, when it got really graphic with the violence.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
heavy.
It was rough. That was really rough.
So as the author you are, Wendi Nunnery, what do you give? What do you give as a final conclusion? This work of art?
In my out of my 5 stars.
Yes,
my
out of your
5-star rating.
5-star Wendi Nunnery's author. Sorry, 5-star rating.
Absolutely 5 stars. I think
Ding, 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 ding.
also too, if I were and I was thinking about it as if I were reading a novel.
Okay.
That's the kind of reveal at the end, the denouement, where it's like all the pieces come together. You really want that. You want that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that thing I read earlier.
Yes.
There's this belief, and I think it might have even been Stephen King who's written this before, but other authors have said, don't put anything in the story unless it is going to be important to the story later. And Wren is a master of that, saying like, I think the quote is, if there's a pistol if they mention a pistol in the room, like that pistol better go off at some point, right? Whatever you put in the story, even as the smallest element, needs to show up and be a part of the story later. And he's really, really good at that. And if I were reading that on the page, it would be so incredibly satisfying, just from a storyteller aspect. So 5 stars.
5 stars. What about you guys? What do you think of this song? Have you seen it before? If you're not already subscribed to Wren, please go support those artists that we're bringing to the channel. Show them that reaction community is here to uplift these artists and spread their music. Thank you so much to Wendi Nunnery. Go check out her work if you want to read some of her work. If you want to get plugged in, where can they find you?
So I write regularly on my Substack, which is wendinunnery.substack.com, called The Nook. I write about motherhood, mental health, my faith, publishing, just life. And then I have a couple of books out, so you can find those on my website, wendinunnery.com. You can find them on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I have kind of tiptoed around lots of different genres. I wrote a young adult duology a few years back. And then I thought I was going to make the switch to nonfiction. I had a pretty big book release in 2020 that was a spiritual memoir. But now I'm back to fiction, and I am working on a speculative fiction novel. I'm looking for an agent for that. So that's kind of the process I'm in right now, is querying agents and trying to find somebody that I can partner with for the rest of my publishing career. So,
all right, agents out there, some agents got to be watching this. Wendi Nunnery, you guys, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me again.
Make sure you guys to subscribe here too, to leave a like, leave a comment, share this with someone. Thank you for being part of the Renegades in this community. Remember that you are loved and you matter. Choose to dance in the life. Your story does not have to end like Violet's, Jenny, or Screech's. You are loved, and I hope that even if that's all you take from this video, that's what you take with you today. See you on the next ride.
Bye.
Ayo.